My next guest sent shockwaves through the Democrat Party when he came out in support of President Trump. Why? Because he's a registered Democrat serving in the Georgia House of Representatives. And this past weekend, look at this. The praise and the hate grew when he was hoisted above the crowd at a Trump rally and did a little crowd surfing in his home state of Georgia. Welcome to the show once again, Vernon Jones. Hey, Vernon, how are you, sir?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. I want to talk to you about 50 Cent and Ice Cube and everybody that's coming out of the closet and working with the president like you are. But first, I got to back up. I want to put those images on the screen, and I want you to tell us how this all started. Did somebody in the family say, get up there and do it? Did the crowd just grab you? How the heck did you get up there and crowd surf? I love it.
Well, actually, I was shaking hands and taking pictures, and about maybe 8 rows deep, I heard a voice from a lady that said, will you take a picture with my son? And I motioned for the young man to come on up. And I noticed he was sitting down. And then someone else said, well, he can't walk. And then I'm like, wow. And I felt bad because I was motioning for him to come up. And then I noticed a lady in front of me got up, and I stood up in her chair to try to see how can I get that far back. And then I just said, hell, I want to get my president reelected. This young man is committed. And if I have to dive across the crowd to get to that young man, that patriot, that great American who's there to support Donald Trump, I took that leap of faith. White people caught me, and that was a demonstration that Black Lives Matter.
Oh, my gosh. You just fired up. Make sure we clip that one, get that online right away, guys. Sorry, Vernon, I'm not going to try and get you any more hate than you're already dealing with, but that's the soundbite of the day right there, that the white people caught you, and Black lives do matter to white people.
And protected me.
Let's talk about the praise and the hate that you receive. It's been going on since you came out, and I'm sure it got worse at the RNC convention after you spoke there on behalf of the president. What's been happening lately with that? How are folks treating you in your home state? How are they treating you? I know if you guys are you in session? Are you in break? How are your colleagues treating you?
Session for the year. We're finished for the year. Start back in 2021.
Okay.
Let me say this. People have a right to feel the way they feel. They're wrong, but they have that right. What scares me is what the Democrats are doing. When someone disagrees with them who have a different political ideology or party affiliation, they want to attack you. They want to take a hit at your First Amendment where you cannot speak openly and for what you feel. That is dangerous, and that's what the left is doing. That's what the Democratic Party is doing. Secondly, the liberal media do not want me on their networks because they don't like the fact that I don't share their narrative. I'm not up there calling the president a racist. I'm up. If I do, Joe Biden is the one I'll be calling a racist because he really is a racist. And then secondly, Black people have been a captive audience for Democrats for years and years and years, and they haven't done anything for Black people. This president has done more truly in 47 years for the African-American community and the community at large than any president has, I would say, in the past 47 years. And certainly Joe Biden hasn't done anything for anybody.
Yeah, and you and I have listed these off before. I've listed them off with other outspoken folks from the Black community on this show where we have pointed out opportunity zones, the Second Chance Act, getting folks out of prison. I mean, he has done and signed executive order after executive order in the first 3 years of his presidency that has helped more African Americans than any president, I would say, in history, even though he jokes. Obviously, Lincoln did way more for the Black community, but in modern history, you go back and you look at Clinton, you look at Obama, Carter. Where was legislation? Where was executive orders? Where were they speaking out? They spoke a lot about helping minorities, but where was the action? I believe in a man's or woman's action.
Well, where was the action from Obama and Joe Biden? They spent a lot of time helping illegals. They spent a lot of time helping the LGBTQ community, and that's fine, but it showed that they don't take those groups' votes for granted. They're not captive audience. They know that they think independently. But when it comes to African Americans, they feel like, well, we don't have to do anything for them. Obama had an opportunity to put an African American on the Supreme Court. When they want to talk about what Donald Trump didn't do and how he filled all these vacancies, well, Obama was the one who left those vacancies available. And again, he has 2 choices to put a Black on the Supreme Court with the Democratic United States Senate. Did he do anything for Black people? No. And so Obama has a worse record in helping Black people probably going back the last 60, 70 years himself.
Well, it's just the optics of it. You would think that the first ever Black president in the United States history would do more for the Black community. And then it took the loudmouth guy from New York that people don't like, that want to try and label him as a racist, which he's not, to do more for the black community. I mean,
I have to correct you on that. He was not the first black president. His mother is white. How can he be the first black president? As a matter of fact, that's the problem I have with the Democratic Party. They grade blacks. When they support a presidential nomination or a vice presidential nomination, why is it that neither one of them, both of their parents, can be black? So they're actually grading. They look for someone that's half-half.
Vernon, let's talk about how the left-wing media, and let's just call it what it is, big tech, social media, has now been, there's more coming out and there is more silencing going on. I feel like they've stepped it up the last couple of days, and it's going to continue these last 2 weeks before the election. You've seen now DOJ is going after Google, and we've seen it. It's happened to us here at OAN, Twitter, Instagram, blocking, banning people's accounts for sharing information about the Biden scandal. And God forbid, don't post anything about the virus that doesn't coincide with Mr. Fauci. Otherwise, they block you, whatever. Have you been victim of that, where they've frozen your account or blocked anything so far?
No, fortunately, I haven't. But let me tell you, Mr. Fauci is conflicted with Mr. Fauci. So, I mean, you know, but
wear masks, don't wear masks. Stays on 5 days, stays on surfaces 24 hours.
And yeah. So, you know, when I hear them talk about the president's not listening to experts and scientists, even among them, there's conflicts.
Right.
So there's no perfect person out there that has all these answers. This is something you can't see, you can't slap, you can't kick. To blame this on the president is just being intellectually dishonest. This is the China virus, not New York, not Georgia. It's the China virus, and they lied to us. They're the ones that are hurting us. Now, without a doubt, Andrew Cuomo made a policy decision that killed thousands of seniors, because he was the one who said send those infected seniors and made those nursing homes take them and infect other people. Other people die. So now that, if you want to blame someone, blame him. But
tens of thousands. There was thousands.
Tens of thousands.
You killed a lot of grandmas. And then he writes a book, Vernon. How about that? Where do you have time in the middle of a crisis, when your state was one of the biggest problematic states out there that had some of the biggest spikes in numbers? How do you have time to write a book, pat yourself on the back, and act like you knew how to handle this crisis? Really?
And at the same time, this president gave them all the equipment, more equipment than they needed, just sitting in storage.
Yeah, had the ship out there in the harbor. The ship was in, remember?
Right.
Yep.
And the ventilators that were just sitting around.
Right.
Wait a minute. And then the liberal media made him look like he was the best thing since sliced bread.
I know.
And their policies are killing New York. People are leaving the city of New York, and more crime is on the rise. People are literally just going up to people and just interrupting their dinners, and they're killing people, and they're starting fires, and
they're fleeing the state. They're moving. And
they're fleeing the state. So where's the leadership? That's failed Democratic leadership.
But I'm going to write a book and tell you I did a great job.
But I got time to write a book between my press conferences about this great job I'm doing.
Oh, Vernon, you and I could spend all day here, but they only give me, with commercial breaks, 52 minutes. So we don't have enough time to talk about all this nonsense that's going on out there. But, man, I appreciate you, what you're doing, what you're standing up for. You're a man that stands by his convictions. And in this day and age, sir, it is hard to come by. So thanks for being a patriot. Thanks for sticking up for conservative values and our president, and sticking up for this country. I know you got your neck out there, man, on the line. So I'm so glad to hear that you haven't had any physical attacks and not too many attacks online. But you take care of yourself, all right? We'll have you back on real soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Vernon Jones from the great state of Georgia, state representative there. Love that guy. Listen to him. He's telling you like it is. Straight ahead, he's another outspoken voice in the black community and also a supporter of President Trump. David Harris Jr. going to join Real America when we come back. Don't go away.